This is Dan from dansdomain.ca here, and this video is about classic site theme not being mobile compatible on ProcessWire. So I'm going to show you what I mean by that. I'll load up our cats page that we have on our previous example. If I shrink the cats page down, I mean, there's a scroll bar that can take me across the page, but the thing about tablets and smartphones is that their viewport size, the size of the rectangle that you're actually able to see, is much smaller than a web page on a screen for a desktop and a laptop, especially because they don't resize too. They're a fixed size. Whereas on a desktop and a laptop, I can simulate a smartphone or a tablet by just resizing my window, which I'm doing here. So at about, I determined it about just below 1,000 pixels, you're triggering a situation that's either a landscape mode smartphone or a tablet screen. And when that happens, you get a horizontal scroll bar because the layout is trying to stay the same as it would for a desktop and laptop type situation, and that's no good for mobile. So basically, if we have a horizontal scroll bar at all in any situation, it's a fail. We have to make sure we don't have that ever, and that means being clever in our CSS a little bit. Not too clever because I don't want to make a complex video, but you definitely have to use the code I'm going to show you or it's not going to work. Okay, so I want you to go to my website, dansdomain.ca. Oops, I shrunk it down. There we go. I want you to go to my website, dansdomain.ca, and I need you to click on Web, ProcessWire, and then change the classic site to be mobile friendly. This is the guide I wrote. I'm going to lead you through the guide so you don't have to read it. We're not going to bother with the Google site to check and see if your site's compatible. We know it's not, actually. If you're using the examples that I've been laying out in previous videos for the classic site layout for ProcessWire, we just know already it's not going to be compatible with mobile devices yet. So there's glowing lines on the page that show you where you're supposed to copy and paste code. So what I need you to do is find the first line that you need to copy and paste. It says meta name viewport content equal width equal device width initial scale equal 1. And that just tells our browser to scale things according to the viewport of the device and not some magical, logical idea of a page that doesn't fit on our screen. So this has to go in our code. So it says to go to public HTML site templates head.inc. So let's do that. Go to cPanel File Manager, navigate to your subdomain, go to Site, Templates, and then head.inc. You can right click it and choose Edit. Okay. So we want to stick this meta tag in somewhere. Might as well stick with the rest of them. So right after the meta tags, but before the link tag, I'm going to put this in. Meta name equal viewport, blah, blah, blah. All right, and in the top right, I'm going to click Save Changes and click Close. When I refresh the cat page, nothing should be different, except when we shrink it down. It might break a little bit. It depends on the browser and on certain other conditions too. In this case, it didn't break that much because we've changed the background color, so the background color isn't splashing over in a way it's not supposed to. But if this wasn't all black, I bet you'd see the light blue of the previous theme colors leaking out a bit, which doesn't look nice. Anyway, I'll show you how to fix that kind of stuff later. Sort of this video will cover it, but I'm not going to show you specifically that. It's just that what I'm showing you lets you modify anything on the page conditionally on the width of the page. So in other words, we'll know from the viewport size whether this is on a tablet, a smartphone, or on anything else that's much bigger, like a TV or a large desktop screen. Okay? So Next, go back to the page I was showing you on my website. Scroll down past the headings, fix the ProcessWire classic site layout. I've already done the footwork for you. I know the CSS style code that's necessary to change this stuff. I'll explain a little bit of it, but not much. Okay? You should know this already if you're a web developer. If you know CSS, this is not going to be too much of a mystery. But basically, these are all elements of the page that we're working with. Like the cats page or the main page. It doesn't matter which one. They all have the same names, elements on each page because it's generated. And we're styling them so that they size properly whenever we are facing different real estate issues, like the size of a smartphone screen versus the size of a desktop screen. Okay? So anyway, copy and paste this stuff. Copy this code, go back into cPanel File Manager, go into Styles Directory, right-click main.css, go to Edit. Go all the way to the bottom of the file. You don't have to go to the top or anything. You don't have to find the place in the file. Just go to the very bottom. Paste in the code. Okay. Now before you hit save, I just want to show you what some of this does. So I'm going to highlight the line I'm talking about. Line 547 if you paste it the same as me. Roughly around there. It says at media screen and max width 1000 pixels. Okay, what that means is it's looking at the max width property of the screen, and if it's 1000 pixels or less, it does whatever's inside of these brackets here. So if I just take this stuff and tab it a bit for you to make it readable, this is the stuff that's conditional. It only happens when the screen is 1000 pixels or less. Okay? And I have another one here for 690 pixels. Because I noticed on the desktop, when you were resizing the screen, or the browser window, and it gets small but not too small, the top navigation still overlaps the logo and looks bad. So I make it disappear, basically. And then the next line, add media screen and max width 400 pixels, is for the size of a smartphone screen in portrait mode. For a really small cell phone screen. This is where things are very scrunched up, and it's just absolutely necessary to use all real estate most effectively without wasting anything. Whereas with a desktop screen, you have plenty of real estate and you can put all kinds of stuff everywhere. So what this all does is, you can see in many places it says display none, display none, display none, display none, display none. Basically, it's hiding a lot of elements, and what it isn't hiding, it's resizing. It's forcing it to be 100 VW, which is view width. If it was VH, it'd be view height, but we don't have that here. Okay, so save the changes in the top right, and then click close. And go back to the cats page and hit refresh. But don't refresh normally. Hold down Control and hit F5 to refresh, so it forces it to refresh. Okay, does it break? Nope. Should be the same in a maximum desktop screen because it's not hiding anything yet. But if we take the page and resize it, things should start disappearing. Ah, there we go. No horizontal scroll bar. Do you see that? And when it gets to a certain width, it doesn't let you go any further, which is good because there's no point. Nothing in the world browses web pages with less than, say, around 360 pixels in width. If it does, it's not really a good browsing device, and you shouldn't even consider it as something you need to make a content for, or a style for, I should say. Anyway, test this out on your phone, test it out on your tablet, or just resize your browser window. Okay, so basically we fixed the site layout because now you know what you can do to change the layout whenever we resize the window and things get all scrunched up and wrong looking. Now in the next video, I think I'll show you how to make a hamburger menu appear so that you'll have navigation still available even though we've hidden the navigation menus that we normally would see. So we're going to make another one that's auto-generated just like the ones that are auto-generated for us already. Using the same code basically. We're going to copy and paste. It's going to be really easy. Have a nice day. Bye.